Morning news. So last Monday, I think, I officially resigned from my public service job. If you tell me 1 year ago that after a year I'm going to be unemployed to become a YouTuber, I will feel excited, but I'll be in disbelief. I'll be so scared. I'll think, like, what's got into my head. So taking a very evidence-based scientific approach, I went back to my diary because I've been recording any major sort of self-discoveries since my career break began. So today I want to share, yes, I will read my diary to you because why not? I'm gonna talk about how and why I decided to quit my public service job and become a full-time creator. Let's go work out. Oh my god. As early as when I was a graduate, like the first year of work, I already kind of always thought to myself, this does not suit me. Like, you know how when you're like in the office, like people are talking and there will just be this little voice in my head be like, I do not belong here. And before I kind of criticize myself for having to take so much time just to prep to be working productively, since I started my career break, I have all the time in my control. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and that's when I realized this is when I'm the most productive. I actually do so much more than I was working in the office because I am working in my clock, in my terms. But even if there's a lot of flexibility, I know a lot of organizations help their employees to have a lot of flexibility, but having to ask for permission for my time, it's something that now that I have enjoyed so much of having control of my time. If I can, I don't ever want to give that away, and I'm willing to try anything and to make that work for me. Let's get ready. No, it's not because I didn't like my job. In fact, my job was my dream job. Like, even now, I don't know how to explain it, but I did find in one of my Excel spreadsheets that I wrote down literally like 3 reasons why I decided to take a career break. I was like, thank me. Number 1, worthiness crisis. So the story behind this was that, you know, like I was totally fulfilled by the job, and I thought, although it was not like a high rank, it wasn't like a senior job, it was an analyst job, but really looking around me, I didn't want to do other people's job. Then what happened was, one of my favorite colleagues, I think she was going to be promoted, or she was given the opportunity to act the role above. Even I knew there was an opportunity to be promoted, it wasn't really in my interest, but somehow when somebody else got it, I got jealous. And so that's where my worthiness crisis come from, because I asked myself, okay, you know, to solve this problem, very simple, you just apply to be promoted. If not now, it'll be later, right? Like suddenly I don't know what I like actually want to do. Like, do I want to care about my title? Do I actually want to care about salary? And if I do, then that will set my life to a totally different trajectory, because I wasn't going to do that. And then at the same time, that's another reason I wrote down. Number 2 is passion shift. So then I kind of realized what I truly care about is not my full-time job. Because if I really care about creating positive impact in public service, then why wouldn't I want to be promoted, have greater power, making greater contributions? Like, that's the natural thing to do. But instead, I just want to stop where I was at, being comfortable, so I can do podcasting, dancing, all the other entertaining performances that I was doing. And the third reason was adulting. Okay. So in May, I got married and I applied for career break in July. So right before I applied for my career break, a lot of my attention wasn't at work, it was in my life. I thought about where I want to take myself in my life, in my relationship. Since I'm getting married, there's like I feel like my life just had a new chapter. And I remember a really vivid feeling when I went back to work. I feel like I have a new soul in an old body. So these are the 3 reasons why, like, they kind of in combination, they triggered me to take the career break. Anyways, but even having the idea in my head, it was kind of difficult. It's not like you can just rock up to work and be like, hey, I want to take a career break for 1 year. It was thanks to actually my husband at the not at the time, he's still my husband. He was like, why not? Because there is minimal risk. Because at my organization, I can take up to 3 years of career break off, and they will keep the position for me. So the worst case scenario for me was the status quo, and I was very certain that if I stayed in the job, I wouldn't learn as much in a year compared to if I take a career break of 1 year and try a bunch of things. And the cost benefit analysis was totally leaning towards career break, and financially I've saved enough for me to do whatever I want for a year. What was the most difficult thing during that time was thinking that, am I a quitter? Like, come on, you can't stand someone else getting promoted, and you go like all bitter and sour, and that's why you want to run away. You're a quitter. But then for me, I kind of thought through like logically why I had to do that. Obviously it wasn't because jealousy was more of a superficial trigger, and the deep down trigger was not about that person. It was about me. It was about me not sure about what I want to do. Really, like, the dream that I was too afraid to admit is that I've always wanted to be an entertainer or a performer. I don't know what the name is, but I just feel like I'm meant to be on the stage or in front of the camera. It pushed me to admit that that's my dream, and if I don't ever try it, given I have a safety net, I have support, and I have financial stability, I have all that just to try something I really want to do. If I don't do it, like, how stupid would that be? I feel like my makeup at this point must be pathetic. Oh my god, I don't know how much I've put on my face. I just like keep dabbing. Oh my god, it's gonna look so funny, I think. Oh, by the way, what's funny is that even after I took the career break, like understanding all those triggers, it took me about 3 months to actually realize why I was taking the career break. I actually wrote a script. It says, admitting this was one of the hardest things I had to do because before this point, I measured my self-worth based on how much I can contribute to others or how much others will respect my title or salary. To admit that I want to be an internet celebrity means I need to throw all that away, purely for my own happiness. My happiness and worthiness not defined by others, but by me. And yes, some people may throw selfishness in just to make me feel worse. Yeah, definitely, I think at the time I also wondered if it was selfish for me to do this. But it's very easy to argue against that, right? Like, because I didn't impact anyone negatively. And another realization I had was, by taking the career break and thinking through the guilt of, leaving my team behind, it just helped me realize that I'm not special and I'm not unique in the public service system. I used to think I'm special because I think, no one is as passionate about this public service thing than I am. But then through this sort of temporary leaving my job force, I realized that I don't want to be special, and I shouldn't be special in the public service sector, because otherwise how sort of effed up would that be? Because it should be the system that works, that adds to my worthiness question. So if with or without me, the purpose of the organization will be fulfilled anyways, then what is my value? Because I've got a spreadsheet which measures my career progression, and one of the factor I was measuring was positive contribution to the society. That used to be measured by how many people I can help. Naturally, I think, oh my god, in public service, I'm helping so many people, like millions. But then they're actually not helped by me. That really helped me to decide that this is a point where I need to reflect on my career progression, what I want, and how, if I really want to make positive impact, then what should I actually be doing? And also respecting my own enjoyment, not just about contributing to others. It's also about how can I fulfill myself, my life's purpose. Basically, a career crisis. Ta-da! Oh my god, I'm so hungry. Let's eat. Alright, where are we up to? I totally forgot. Oh yeah, so I quit so I started my career break. This part in my diary is when I realized that I don't want to do YouTube or creative work just as a hobby. It's kind of funny because I realized this when I was preparing for my first vlog, and I was looking at other people's vlog that's got like millions of views, and I was like, easy, of course I could do it. And my vlog has under 50 views at the moment. So when I was researching for that, these are my thoughts. I said, I'm scared of becoming viral because I'm like, oh my god, if I do my vlog, I'm gonna be viral tomorrow. And I was so scared, and I was like, why am I scared? Isn't this everything that I wanted? Explore this thought. So I said, I'm not ready to become popular. I'm afraid of exposing myself. I'm afraid of showing the crazy me. I shouldn't succeed. Like, that was like a shock for me when I wrote down. So I kind of interviewed myself. I said, what does it mean if you become viral or successful? The answer to that was, it means I will make this my full-time career. I'm reaching for my dream. I'll need to put a lot of effort into my entertainment career. It's a commitment. I'm not playing. It's not a side hustle. It's not a career break. It's a career transition. That was also a shock for me. I know you're like, how can you be shocked by something you write down? Because I'm just kind of pouring down my thoughts without thinking about it. So that was really scary for me as well, because a career transition is hard work, whereas career break can be fun and relaxing. So from not knowing or not having the courage to admit what my dream was, to aware and try to do it as a hobby, but then realize, no, it cannot be a hobby. Actually, I want to be committed. Then the last piece of the puzzle really is money, right? So I did some accounting of my finances, and I knew that I'll be able to support myself for a few years. But thinking about eating into your own savings, and also given that I was married, even my husband said he's willing to support me, but as a feminist, it's like, there's a really big shame that I was dealing with, thinking about what if one day I have to financially rely on others, and would I lose myself? And there, of course, is a diary, and that's like the most important diary entry of all time. Basically, it was after this diary entry. It's not really a diary. It's a thought record, which is a cognitive behavioral therapy technique. So basically, after writing down that particular thought record, I decided that I'm going to quit my job. The other things, I decided that going back to full-time work is not going to solve my financial insecurities, and this is how I did it. I did a table of the pros and cons of what to do with my money. The important part was I made 3 scenarios of what could happen, and they literally landed in the same sort of conclusion. So scenario number 1, I'm not able to monetize after 1 year and just have money in the bank. I have cash to sustain me for about 5 years. The question is, how can I leverage this money the best way? Scenario number 2, maybe I started monetizing and I have $500 per month. Then I still need more money to live a comfortable life. The question is, how can I leverage this money the best way? Scenario number 3, I get at least $3,000 per month after 1 year. I will be living pretty comfortably. Then the question is, how can I leverage this money the best way? So from this, I realized the question is not whether I should get a job to have more cash flow. The question is, how can I spend this money in a smart way? And so I wrote down, every scenario leads to the same result. Interestingly, money does not solve anxiety. If I go back to corporate job, it's just a band-aid solution to make me feel as if I'm like okay, but really I still haven't learned how to leverage on my money. And then the next question is, should I request an extension at my work or quit my job? Because remember, I could apply to up to 3 years of career break, and I just applied for 1 year. So I could basically have this plan B and safety net for longer, or I can get rid of the safety net and fully commit to YouTube. And I also did a pros and cons table. Basically, the only benefit of having this plan B is a temporary sense of security. The cons is a lot more. Anxiety about confronting with honesty. Something is always on the back of my mind. Feeling of safety from a backup plan may also reduce my productivity and my creativity because I'm not like full in, I'm not committed. And the third one was, do I need to compromise or promise anything in return? Yeah, like because I'm having that career break not with an intention to go back, but as a safety net. So the guilt will also trap me in a negative mindset, I think. And then if I quit, the pros is a lot more than cons. The pros are 1, simplicity, 2, a peace of mind because I'm true to myself, I'm honest to myself, and I'm honest to others. The third one is I'll have cleared head for creative work, and it also removes the anxiety about, what should I tell my manager, whether I should extend it, how long should I extend it, what do other people think about me, that sort of thing. And the cons is opportunity cost, reduced by other ways of making money. So basically I have one less option. So that's the con. When I was listing these pros and cons, it was just very obvious to me that I'm going to quit. Like after having this laid down in a table and writing those down, the answer was just very clear to me. So that's when I decided that I would not extend the career break at my current workplace. It's not like I'm sure I'll be like a one-hit success. It's more because I know that I can do this for a very long time, and I'm willing to fail many times until I make it. I'm willing to basically die like trying. Like if people ask me what if it didn't work, it kind of doesn't matter. Like I know I will enjoy the process, and then with the skills that I learned in the process and the energy and happiness and productivity I get from doing what I want, like I think this is like the most valuable thing that I can put into my resume as a bonus. So I don't really think this would disadvantage my career. I still have self-doubt, which is probably one of the biggest challenge at the moment, but I will keep talking to myself. I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine. Yeah, I don't know whether this is useful.